Let's see, should I do a filter or no filter? I don't know. Hi, you guys. Andrea Cox here. It is late. I am in front of my computer, and I thought I would share a story with all of you. It's the story of Lilith, but it's the real story of Lilith, the rendition by the great feminist Lily Rivlin. Can you guys hear me? Ooh, you might not be able to hear me. One moment, let me adjust this. Ah, okay. I'm using a styrofoam cup holder from Mexico. It is the best cell phone prop in the history of cell phone props. My ex created it for me, and I've had it for 4 years. It's amazing. I'll take a picture for all of you prop gurus out there. So those of you who are new to the channel, thank you, welcome. This is the first story time I've ever done. No, I'm not into ASMR. I just put that up there to get more views. But one of my who I consider to be my spiritual teacher is a reader named Queen of Cups Tarot, plural. I shared her the other day on the community section of the channel. She is very enlightened and a very beautiful soul. She's much more of a gentler reader than I am. And she really teaches as she reads. So if you have tuned into her, I know a few of you have reached out and said that you have trouble understanding, etc. I'm going to move the energy around real quick. There we go. That's so much better. If you have trouble understanding her, the best thing to do is to listen to her consistently, because one day you'll just get it. You'll just get it like I did. It was slightly difficult for me to understand when I first... She's from Sweden. It's not her accent that you'll have trouble understanding. It's the teachings are so in depth. And I really, really am not the type of person to follow anyone's lead, anyone. I am a leader. But with her, she's just so incredibly gifted, so incredibly talented that, that I feel there's a lot of value there. There's going to be a lot of value in this story I'm about to read too. So Lilith, and Lilith was brought to my attention by the woman I just mentioned. So I think a lot of you women who are single are going to enjoy this story. And then I'm going to talk about what brought me to read this to you tonight. I'll just say that I'll say that after. Okay, so where's my mouse? In the beginning, male and female created them. God formed Lilith, the first woman, just as he had formed Adam, from pure dust. Adam and Lilith never found peace together because Lilith contested Adam's claim to be supreme. They were created simultaneously from the same dust, she reasoned, and were therefore equal. When he asserted he was to be her master, she insisted there was no justification for his supremacy. When he wished to lie with her, she took offense at having to lie beneath him. Adam tried to force her obedience rather than accept subjugation. Lilith chose to leave Adam to live by the Red Sea. She found peace there, on the hard rock sand, lining the deep blue gulf of a word I can't pronounce. Making love with satyrs, minotaurs, and centaurs. So I think the modern day Lilith would not be making love with satyrs, minotaurs, and centaurs. A satyr is like a drunkard, and a minotaur is, and I'm not pronouncing them right, is part bull and part man. And a centaur is, I believe, the bottom half of him is a horse and the top half is a man. So I think this was written, I believe, in the 70s. It was for a magazine called Ms., which is a feminist magazine, was a feminist magazine back then. And again, the author is Lily Rivlin, if you want to look this up. There's a lot of Jewish writings about Lilith, portraying her as a demon. And I love the Jewish culture, by the way. I have a lot of Jewish clients, and I dated a Jewish man for a while, and he's a brain surgeon and opened up a neuroscience institute in Texas. He's very, very brilliant man. But I am saying that, there are a lot of Jewish writings on this that are portraying Lilith as a demon who basically ate men and children and everything else. So that's not exactly true. So the story I just gave you of Lilith is beautiful. And this woman goes on to write, let me just read the story one more time for you guys. In the beginning, male and female created them. God formed Lilith, the first woman, just as he had formed Adam from pure dust. Adam and Lilith never found peace together because Lilith contested Adam's claim to be supreme. They were created simultaneously from the same dust, she reasoned, and were therefore equal. When he asserted he was to be her master, she insisted there was no justification for his supremacy. When he wished to lie with her, she took offense at having to lie beneath him. Adam tried to force her obedience rather than accept subjugation. Lilith chose to leave Adam and live alone by the Red Sea. She found peace there on the hard rock sand lining the deep blue gulf, making love with satyrs, minotaurs, and centaurs. Again, modern day Lilith would find more peace with a nice drawer of toys instead of sleeping with, the aforementioned. Because unless unless a man's going to marry you, it's really a lot of stress and drama unless he is treating you, better than Adam treats you here, who wants to take control, right? And even when a man marries you, it's still coming from someone who's been engaged 3, really 4 times. The control factor is not okay, right? I prefer to sip green juice and live on the desert along the Red Sea, if that's the case. Okay, so Lily Rivlin goes on to write, and I find this fascinating, and I'm so grateful for the Queen of Cups. Hop over there, tell her that I read this to all of you. If I can get my mouse to work, it would be a good day. I'm really hurting when it comes to equipment right now, you guys. My laptop has been breaking on and off, and so I've paid to have it fixed several times, and this computer needs to go too. So I can't stand a desktop, you guys. Oh my gosh, bear with me. Bear with me. Oh, move this energy. Whoops, move this energy around, this stagnant energy. Thank you. Andrea. You guys, I seriously cannot move the mouse. Okay, there it goes. I first became aware of I can't, it's too small. I had to make it really small because it wouldn't go down. You guys, how do I move the mouse over here to get it to, do I sound stupid? I'm really not. I really don't do good on a desktop. This is kind of like the equivalent of being a Mac person and going to a PC. It just, like, it doesn't work. Okay, good. I just need to grab a hold of that little line thingy on the side, you guys. Don't you love this when I do this? Now, this really is ASMR because I can't actually get the mouse to work. Oh, there it goes. Yay! Okay. Good job, girly girl. Good job. Okay. I first became aware of this writing's about this big, so it's very hard to see. I first became aware of the cosmic sextus conspiracy when I realized that nothing of my personal sense of woman derived from any historic female hero, mythic or real. I knew about Lilith dimly, like an ethereal goddess, as a predecessor to Eve, and I was repelled by Eve, that submissive blonde creature willed by a snake falling for a line. My own instinct told me Eve could have walked to the tree of knowledge of her own free will, picked the fruit, felt its texture, and weighing the consequences, eaten if she so desired. Most of all, I felt deceived by the myth of Eve. It seemed to me that reaching out for knowledge in the form of symbolic fruit was both a sensual and a courageous act, an adventure of the spirit and a desire for experience, which the story of Genesis somehow had turned into a diseasing act of shame and guilt. I felt uncomfortable in the Eve role. I twisted at it a bit. I felt dismissed, my impulses dismissed. My personal images were not of an infinite paradise, a protected Garden of Eden, but of rough yellow and brown deserts, of iron gray molten rock, of golden thirsted grass. Also, I could not understand the shame of nakedness. I was animal. I was God. I was substance. Beneath layers of civilization, I was throbbing and echoes of deep-welled animal cries. If I was not Eve's daughter, whose daughter was I? I just want to show you guys how small this writing is so you can see where my struggle comes from. Yeah, someone needs glasses for that. Okay. So now that we've talked about the real Lilith, right, who just wanted equality, I want you guys to look up your life path number. Okay? So life path numbers are really, really important. For example, like a life path number 4 is all about acts of service and humanitarianism. It's very Aquarian energy, you know, because Aquarians are all about humanitarianism. Life path number 8 is kind of the workaholic life path number. It's very kind of Capricorn-esque, Taurus-esque, you know, even Gemini-esque, you know, when they get in the other side, because they've got 2 sides to them, they can focus on only work, right? Life path number 9, that's my life path number, is a person who sees everyone as equal. No one is beneath or above them. So people struggle with life path number 9s because life path number 9s will always, always, always root for the underdog. It's the animal activist. It's the person showing up at the nursing home to feed people but not sharing it on social media. It's the person who wants equality in relationships, right? But who, if is disrespected, goes, I'm going to use the word berserk. So equality is reciprocity and equality is extremely important to a life path number 9 once they find their balance. Again, once they find their balance. So to me, this resonates like to the umpteenth, because in my own personal experience and also doing countless readings for you women, I'm hearing a lot of 3 different scenarios. I'm hearing, and from my own, a few of my own personal experiences, not many, I'm hearing a lot of women giving, all of themselves, all of their energy, all of their vitality from the earth, which is woman. The woman is earth, giving from the earth, giving of creation, creating things and giving, and then feeling drained from not receiving. That's one thing. Another thing, and that's from men not wanting anyone to get ahead. You know, it's so like, some men, you know, it's so macho. It's so like, my God, it's so, I mean, if you really want to see the inner nuances of people, I've had this happen in my own life. You know, a man can like leave a woman and then he'll see that other men are interested in that woman and go back towards her. It's all about the ego and the competition and the repetition of seeing if they can get back in. It's so ego driven, right? So then we have the other, you know, scenario where one wants to dominate over the other one, right? One wants to dominate over the other one. So a life path number 9, for example, in reverse, would want to dominate if they weren't being treated well. They would make sure, right? They would lay stiff boundaries only after they've found they were deceived or something, lay stiff boundaries and literally turn into the polar opposite of what their natural state of being is. You won't find that on the internet either. You got to really study life path numbers and then do the reverse to really find out kind of the inner nuances. Okay. So Lilith finds peace along the Red Sea, right? In the desert. There's a Red Sea, but there's a desert. I guess the Red Sea is the desert. Is the Red Sea a word for the desert? I don't know. I'm from Ohio. There's grass there. You know, there's like population 2,000 where I'm from. I mean, it's okay. So is the Red Sea the desert? All right. So I'm trying to wrap my brain around this, because if Adam and Lilith were created at the same time, they were in fact equal. And this was too deep of a concept to be examined, right? I think the story is Adam went and, I don't know, what, did Adam go get another wife or something? I think he did. Didn't he get like a young wife or someone who did everything he said or something, who obeyed him? That's pretty. But see, we're in the era of Lilith again. So you see a lot of younger men with older women, because we're in the era of Lilith again, because we've moved out of the age of Pisces, which is all about conformity and religion. And you guys, I grew up Christian. I went to a Pentecostal church camp. Hello, we spoke in tongues. I'm from Ohio. You know, I had my mouth washed out with soap one time for my step monster when I said fuck. So, you know, I didn't grow up like reading tarot or anything. But what I'm trying to say here is we're out of the era of Pisces and we're into the era of Aquarius, which is all about freedom. Okay. Still, if Adam and Lilith were created at the same time, they were equal, and this was too deep of a concept to explore. Ben Sira compiled the official myth of Lilith, a story designed to quell any hope for equality. Okay, so Genesis in the Bible, Jews and Christians will even admit that it was edited from the 6th century BC onward. So the male and female dynamic, it looks like, was altered, right? So that's when the Bible switched and it was all about, well, you'll have to just go and read about it, okay? The predecessor to Eve, you'll have to read about it. Adam married Eve after Lilith went to the desert. I think that's how this goes. Just go do the history. Go do the history. Okay. So what was I saying? Okay, so, there's all this Lilith and Eve was wrong. Lilith became a true beast. Yeah, so you're reading, so you need to go read Lily Rivlin's version because she interviewed several people. She really got to the bottom of why it was written backwards. So you're holding on to your religious mindsets. I should probably delete you if you're going to comment like that, because that tells me you're holding on to your religious mindset. Yes, she was created first, Rena. That's right. Yes, God created Lilith and Adam out of dust. I thought it said out of lust, but I was wrong. Okay, that would have been a lot of fun. All right, so, but Lilith, she didn't feel lust for Adam because he wanted to control her. So the quickest way to push a woman away is to try to control her, to try to hamper her creativity, to try to quiet her into something she's not, because she is creation. She's earth. She gives life. She gives birth. To try to darken her, to try to push her down, to try to keep her stagnant and stuck, to try to keep her hidden is a direct punch to the earth. Does that make sense? I think you mean where are the 55 missing pages, not where is. Okay. I feel like someone watching walks around with a spiral bound notebook and is trying to write a book, but the book is of other people's hypothesis, just kind of reworded a little bit. I don't know. That's for someone. Okay. So here we go again. Let's focus. Let's focus. Focus. I just, I'm going to bring up a horrible example, but I'm going to do it. So I'm not like a big Kardashian fan or anything, but occasionally something will come across like a news feed or something. And I'm saying this because I said the word focus, and I once watched an interview with her where she said, okay, focus, to her child that was doing her makeup. Really cool child rearing skills. She lets them be free, and I love that. So that's a good example of a woman, not her mother raising them not to be pushed down. And I know you guys will say, oh, that's bullshit, and those girls are exploited and they're big asses and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? They've got their own money. They can lead. Now, Chloe needs a little help because that guy cheated on her and she's a basket case now. But God, if I had that amount of money, if someone fucked me over, I would just go buy a new car. I mean, it wouldn't even matter, you know? I don't know. I don't know how you could be that depressed. I would be like, hallelujah. You know, I would just be like, okay, more money, great. I mean, really, no, I'm just saying, like, who cares? If you've got enough money to take care of yourself and overly take care of yourself, just go buy a, yeah. So anyway, so we don't want to take from woman. That's bad. We create a lot of shitty karma for ourselves. If we take energetically, sexually, creatively, if we hamper their creativity, try to push them down, shut them up, or if we steal from them creatively, very, very bad, very bad. Okay, so it says when Adam wanted Lilith to lay beneath her, she said, "Why must I lie beneath you?" she asked. "I also was made from dust and am therefore your equal. And am therefore your equal." And he tried to force her obedience. So this brings me to another subject, and I want to talk to all of you about it. So, I think one of my exes from quite a few years ago that never was able to let me go is on here, like 6 years ago. God, he's so annoying. Anyway, so it's like I always know his jargon, like it's always so obvious to me. Anyway, so let's focus here. Adam and Lilith from dust. Okay, most of all. So it says, most of all, this Lily Rivlin felt deceived by the myth of Eve. So Eve was really kind of a filler to take Lilith's place. But Adam never let go of Lilith energetically. He always, always, always focused on Lilith, right? So this helped me a lot. I was in a situation a while back with someone who had been with someone for like 20 years or something. It was a long ass time. And she was really pissed when we got together. And I kept telling him, no wonder she's pissed. Should go apologize to her. Should get send her some flowers or so. I'd hate me too. I'm like 11 years younger and I would hate me. And because they hadn't been broke up, but just a few months, you know, it hadn't been a year or anything. So she was kind of Lilith, right? She was Lilith, right? He probably kind of was a little controlling over her, was a little jealous or something, right? I had a scenario more recently where the tables were turned and I felt like I was being very kind of controlled and manipulated and, mind screwed. So, that's all of this taking from the earth, what we do not want to do, right? Okay, let's move on. So the reason that I was brought to this tonight was because I was looking online because we all flow in cycles. I'm going to skip around a little bit. And I know that I have a 9-year cycle and a 7-year cycle and a 4-year cycle of major creativity. I can see it on my Facebook reminders. 9 years ago at this time, I had or 6 years ago, I had just moved into this place. 9 years ago, I had just moved to California. 7 years ago was the first time I was on the news. 4 years ago, it was on the, I was, so very, very, repetitious. And if we don't live in the area energetically that we're supposed to live, for example, I'm a manifesting generator. and I'm not living in the place that I'm supposed to be living at, right? So I was online, and I like to look at places online because it allows me to dream. Even if it's a place that today I can't afford to buy, maybe tomorrow will be a different story, right? So I really had my heart set on a retreat center, but not like buying a retreat center, but like creating one out of a beautiful space. And I've never been drawn to the desert, but like 9 years ago, my sister moved her whole family, including my mom, to Arizona. And so the only part of Arizona I'm really drawn to is like Sedona, right? So I was looking, and I've been looking and staying up pretty late every night, just dreaming, right? And I decided to start looking at places for sale. And it is so cheap to live there that I'm just dumbfounded, right? My nose is itching, so I must be allergic to someone in here. So, oh, who's this? Okay. Anyway, so I was looking on there, and I found this. It wasn't in Sedona, it was in some far out place. And it was only like 450,000, which is, I know that sounds like a lot to you guys, but it's actually not a lot for a house. I lived in a house that was around that price for 8 years in Ohio, and Ohio things are really cheap too. But it was a beautiful, like 4,900 square foot home with a pool and fountain, and I could plant there, and I could have dogs there, and it needed remodeled. There was some blue carpet in one bedroom, and I'm not a carpet person anyway. But it was very doable to create into a sanctuary for Liliths to come, for women to come and heal. And so I was looking, and I came across that, and I was like, God, I couldn't move into it like that. It needs remodeled. That needs gutted. That needs, I like the original tile, but I don't like the doors, and I don't like this. I love the wood beam ceilings, but I don't like how the windows are. The window panes are painted dark, So the kitchen definitely needs gutted and remodeled. Like, I was picking out little things, but the outside is perfect. And then I looked at the town it was in. I was like, is there fucking anything around here? Like, I was just like, oh my God, is there anything around here? And then I found a second one that was a little smaller in a town that had a little more action. And I thought, no, you know what? Lilith lived in the desert, the Red Sea. I think that means like, does it mean like red clay or something? I don't know. So I'm going to dream about this place tonight. And I've been dreaming about a lot of things lately, and they seem to be coming into fruition and being brought to me in the form of women. I have a client, Christina, that's creating a retreat center for women in Carlsbad, and she paid my monthly fee, and I helped her pick the name, and we reserved the domain name the other day, and I'm taking a web developer over there on Friday, and so I'm helping her create her dream. She's from the Hamptons and has always had this dream, and living in Newport Coast for the past several years, she wasn't able to make that dream happen, and now she is, and she just needs that fire under her. And I have a lot of fire in my belly right now. My resources aren't what they once were, because I had a lot of energetic things go on over the past 6 months where people didn't like to see me prosper. So they put a lot of drama in my way, but we don't need to float on that. But one of the forms of drama was someone trying to control me. They were trying to control what they couldn't control, or trying to assess a situation to see how they could get in and control. And so whenever we do that, we steal from a woman's very core of creativity and creation. And not only do we do that, but we steal from the earth itself, because that woman, me, and maybe you, right, was put here for a very specific purpose. And when you step in and mess with the purpose, you're in a sense taking from yourself. So whenever we put obstacles in anyone's way deliberately, we are messing with their divine purpose, what they're here to do. We're putting obstacles in their creation, in what they were divinely guided, divinely put here to do. You see? My ex of 6 years ago popping on and saying, something about you shouldn't sleep with dudes' friends and blah, blah, blah. That is someone who has followed every single thing I do. He has accounts on all of his exes. They're all on a separate thing on Facebook and everything. Makes fake accounts and all that. Since we broke up, it's very ugh energy, that doesn't put an obstacle in my way, but it's icky energy. So we want to release that, right? I want to take this and imagine that all that energy is gone and we get rid of it. Salt's powerful. There's a lot of herbs in here. You'll see some weird stuff in there. And those are herbs I grew myself. That's a candle that burnt down. There's a petition in here. Salt is powerful. Salt is powerful. So I don't know, maybe I'm supposed to move to the desert to teach women stuff like this, right? Because there's a divine purpose for all of us. Right, Ellie? Poof, be gone, do. And it's gone. So I'm learning to hold on to that energy more and more. And also this stuff, all of the, the things that I kind of keep under wraps that I know are part of my divine purpose, but are maybe frowned upon, that comes from a very past life, lost soul part place. And that's another reason I love Queen of Cups. By the way, that's cups plural, not singular. There's two of them. This woman's from Sweden. You'll know when you go to her channel. But she talks about lost soul parts and how to regain them. And when people put obstacles in your life, you lose your soul parts, you close off your heart, etc. You can feel used. You can feel like the victim and play the victim role. We've all done that. And so when we let that go, we've reclaimed the soul parts, we reclaim. You will find something in every corner of this house, right? A lot of power in certain things I do, and I don't share them because if you look at back in the day, right? Thousands of years ago, they used to hang women who were into things like root work and things of that nature. They would hang them, even if they were doing it for good intentions. So, there's a lot of, and I'm gonna do that. I'm going to actually do a really good candle manifestation with you guys on video. If you guys would like that, let me know in the comment section. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I didn't skip around too much. The reason I came to this is because I was finding such joy looking at when I found that place in the desert. I was like, I found two or three. Two really took me. One was, just like 2,900 square feet. It was out in BFE as well, but it was more white and clean and didn't need any remodeling. And then there was another one that was huge. And it definitely needs a new kitchen and it needs a lot. But I thought, God, it's so cheap that, it would be easy to make that happen. But I'm not saying $450,000 is cheap. I'm saying that, in the realm of houses, out here in Southern California, when you pay $3,500 for rent or whatever, that is cheap, what I found. So, I've always detoxed people on a cellular level, and I know everything there is to know about that. So teaching them more about things like this and how to protect themselves, how to protect themselves against the thieves of the earth, right? The ones who take but don't give. That's important. It's important. It's important because I see a lot of clients do better and better and better. And then, I have clients that fall off and then they come back and they go back to, what have you or whatever. If someone from your past comes back into your life, you'll know if they've changed. You'll know, you'll feel it. But you'll only be able to feel it if you're energetically clear. You can't have a backed up colon from eating a bunch of, dairy and wheat, gluten, animal products, and be clear mentally and physically, third eye especially. And do not tell me you can. And I have deleted a ton of readers that I followed who were like, oh, vegan's bullshit and blah, blah, blah. The hell it is. I've been vegan almost 20 years. And I'm very intuitive, very, very, very intuitive. And I hid it for a really, really, really long time. Really long time. Sometimes even when you're little, you can, maybe some of you talked about certain things and, it was kind of like, that can happen. Or you can just think you're a weirdo, right? Black sheep, weirdo. So, everywhere I go now, I was just at Beaming earlier at Equinox and I had guessed the girl's sun, moon, and rising sign a week ago. And then I said to her today, I said, are you going through a breakup? She said, it happened a few months ago. And I said, you're still not over it. And I said, is it a Scorpio guy? And she goes, oh my God, give me your card. And it was like, the intuition, the third eye comes when you stop with the bullshit and you cleanse on a cellular level. It all goes hand in hand. Right? This keto stuff, that's such bullshit. That is not true cellular health. Those people are going to have cancer in the 6th decade of their life. You have to have balance, though. You can't just live off fruit and live off juices, etc. So you guys, oh, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for your kind words. I have a second YouTube channel called Andrea Cox TV, and I'm getting to a point where if I go and build this retreat, I don't even know if I might even remove both channels. Seriously, I've thought about it. Unless I see something growing in subscribers, like it said, I had 950 plus subscribers over the last 30 days, but I didn't see the subscribers move. There might be something wrong there. I had my ex pop on from 6 years ago. Maybe he's up to his old tricks, but, I have to see this grow. So the way you guys can help me grow this is you can click on the ads and watch the ad for 1 minute after you're done watching this video. You can subscribe to both channels, Andrea Cox TV and The Detox Intuitive. You can sign up for my newsletter on andreacox.com. You can attend my retreats. I'm holding a spiritual fasting retreat at the end of the month. I've held retreats for 7 years, off and on. You can purchase a private reading. You can donate to the channel. But subscribing's big, you know? Yeah, click on the ads and things like that. So that's how you can support. Donations are always welcome. I only take 5 readings a week. So yeah. Anyway, and I'm booked right now, but I'm open for next week, so that's great. You're so sweet. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you. What's your sign? Your sun sign? Yes, you. Is that Ella Chi or Elia? Virgo and Scorpio moon. So Scorpio moon, you've been through a lot of shit. Scorpio moon, I'm a Scorpio moon. It's Scorpio moons are more of a Scorpio than a Scorpio, so it's intense, right? You should look up the meaning of a Scorpio moon person on the internet. Anyway, so let me see. I'm reading something. Yeah, so if you read certain things on the internet about Lilith, you'll read she was a demon, that she ate children and men and blah blah blah. That's not true. That's not true. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. Check out the retreats page on the site. I stopped taking new people in 3 days, so definitely let me know if you're interested in that. You can always email me on the website with any questions, thedetoxintuitive.com. Anyway, I love you guys so very much. Support each other, you know, and if you're in a relationship, try to be understanding. And I hope you enjoyed this story. And thank you so much, you guys. Be well.